Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode. Today, we're going to be talking about data center cleanup. We are all in this situation where we are still in data center. We know we have to move to the cloud, but we have all this baggage under our belts, and we're kind of overwhelmed with all the stuff that we know we're going to have to worry about. So, one of the best things that you can start doing is doing a little bit of cleanup, a little spring cleaning. And so, in this video, we're going to be chatting with Artem, who's going to be giving us some tips, some tricks, and maybe some just tried and true proven methods from the battle zone of migration himself. So we'll make sure we get you some of the best tips that you can get here. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and Artem, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So how do we get clean here? How do we clean up our Jiras, given the 20+ year histories that some of these instances can have?
Yeah, I think cleanup is a good early action that you can take when you are planning your migration of your DC instance into the cloud, because the longer your instance has been around, the more clutter you likely have under the sheets. And with DC, it may have performance implications. So usually, when you talk to Atlassian, they will recommend cleaning, or when you talk to solution partners, they will recommend cleaning every now and then, and they'll do health assessments, and then they can help you do that. But I think it's very good for admins to get familiar what is out there and to establish regular cleaning procedures. So if you haven't been regularly cleaning your instance, doing it before the migration is a great idea, because first of all, you're not bringing in obsolete junk. Atlassian tells us, of course, because cloud is infinitely scalable and all that stuff, having all this useless clutter won't necessarily slow you down. But if everybody brings years and years of unused workflows, data, and attachment,
I will tell you though, it might not slow you down in the cloud, but it's going to make that weekend feel like you don't have enough hours in that weekend, because most teams will shut down. Like they'll take a snapshot like on a Thursday, and they're spending that Friday, Saturday, Sunday moving things, and you can't really accelerate this, right? You can't add more people to do the migration because it's just moving bits, bytes, and data, or gigabytes, petabytes, terabytes. They're all moving across, and you're just as fast as your internet is.
Absolutely. I mean, you can have a lot of attachments there that are no longer relevant. They're just sitting there. One of the common things I found is that data retention policies in Jira get overlooked. So if your organization keeps 7 years worth of record, check your Jira. Maybe you have 10 years worth of records in there, and it's time to trim. So you can get rid of a lot of attachments, a lot of data that doesn't
How
need
do
to
you
go.
start? Because I'll give you a little analogy. This weekend was my birthday, and so my mom loves to clean. But we were looking for something to put it for a decoration, and it's been a year since my last birthday. So she cleaned up the house and she put things away, but she did such a great job that she couldn't find it anymore. And so that's often the case, right? When you go to clean up, you end up cleaning up things that maybe you shouldn't, or maybe you clean too aggressively too soon. Like, how do you find the easy, like, what is the low hanging fruit? What can we start cleaning up that's not going to get us in trouble later?
Well, since we're talking about data retention, you can find records that are outside of your data retention policy just through JQL, right? You
So
can
just find
see
old work items, especially some that have some large attachments, and start trimming that fat there.
absolutely JQL is your friend there. You can get, you have bulk action, you have JQL. You can archive things. You should probably delete them. I think that's what your GRC will tell you. Your internal audit will tell you. Once the retention period is over, there's no sense keeping that data. If that aligns with your data retention policy, get rid of that data. There's no sense bringing it over to the cloud. It's unlikely that you're using that.
Yeah, no, I've seen people bring 3, 4, 500,000 work items over because they just got to carry it with them for some reason.
So I would say that's the first thing. Users, depending on how, if you have managed users through Okta or something else, then they automatically get deactivated and all that. If you're not using that, if you're managing users manually, how many users you have there that left, departed years ago. Again, are they associated with some data that's past the retention period? You could remove users. You could remove service accounts, deactivate service accounts. Before Atlassian introduced service accounts, people would just create service accounts as a user and then run services through it. Do you have that? Create a registry. Which one of them are still in use? Which one of them need
Yeah.
to be deactivated? Is the service still active behind it? All
Yeah.
great
And
governance
I
items.
think this is so important. I want to double tap on this one because users in the cloud, it's been a minute since I've used DC. I mean, the last time I used Data Center, you can still buy Jira Server for $10 in perpetuity. So it's been a cool minute since I've ever had to do it from like a licensing management perspective. So the details are a little fuzzy, but in the cloud, what often dings people is three things that I'll talk about. One, every user counts as a user. Like Atlassian sending you a bill for every user. It doesn't matter if the email is dormant, non-dormant, or active, not active, exists or doesn't exist. Like if you got a user in there and you gave that email a license, Atlassian is going to send you a nice bill for that user. And I think what's even more not as known is our invited users, right? People that we invited. The moment you give them that license, even if they're invited, Atlassian will still send you a nice bill for all those users, right? And so you definitely want to audit your user list if you want to come over to the cloud and not get hit with a ginormous bill for 100, 500,000 users that aren't using the system. And then the third gotcha that always gets people is Atlassian will conveniently leave your cloud environment. I don't want to use the word exposed because that's a strong word, but Atlassian makes it very easy for new users to be added, especially when they're from your domain. And so you see some colleague invite or share a Confluence article with somebody, and all of a sudden your Confluence licenses just went up by 50 people overnight. You're like, well, how did this happen? Well, it's because Sally from accounting just shared the link to everybody, and your policies internally are always configured to make it open, right? Let it have the least amount of friction. So you want to get a handle on those users as soon as possible, because when you move to the cloud, until you lock things up, like it's going to be very easy for users to join, and you don't want to make that easy compounded by the fact that you're paying for all these inactive users. Like it's a recipe for a very expensive bill.
Yeah. What's the side effect of users not being able to join? When they go and spin up their own trial of Jira and you get it pop up in your org list as an admin.
Yep. So what else? So we got users, we have old work items. What about like things like automation, statuses, resolutions? Should we even be messing with those at all?
I would say before we look at that, custom fields definitely. So you can see if your custom field is being used across different screens. It's a good opportunity to consolidate custom fields if you see that somebody has similarly named custom fields. It's a good opportunity to consolidate them. Workflows. How many back versions of workflows do you keep? If you're on version 7 of your workflow, maybe delete the previous 6 or 5 or however many you're comfortable with. Apps. Do you have an owner established for every app? Do you know that still every app is still in use? Because you could be paying the license, but whoever requested it has left, and you still are paying the license. So it's a good idea to take an inventory of your apps to see if they need to come over. Even if they're compatible, your JCMA will tell you if apps are compatible or not. But what you don't know, is it in use potentially? So
That's a little trickier to pinpoint, right? Some apps make it easy. I've seen a couple of apps where the JVM. I think it was an AppFire one where they gave you like some extra functions of workflows. I forgot what they were called, but it was an AppFire app on JWVM or something like that. Workflows. I forget the name of it, but it was an important app because back in the day, or at least in the data center, you needed extra functionality in workflows. Like you bought this app in the cloud, it's all built in natively now, so you don't need it. But people were like using it, and then you don't use it, but it's easy to find out what workflows are actually using it. And so it's like some of them have like a built-in UI that allows you to see, okay, you're using it, but most of them, if not all of them, don't have a. There's no easy way to find out if your app's actually being used until you start talking to people. Like you got to go knock on some doors.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the governance practices I suggest is keep a registry of app owners. If you have something like X-Ray and you have multiple owners for it, know who they are, because in turnover you might need to go talk to your secondary owner, and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other comment that I'll add though is the cleanup, the time to clean up, right? We've called out a couple of advantages that you get for cleaning up before the migration. But if you, for whatever reason, you wait to then clean up in the cloud, once you start removing things, especially when you delete those work items, there's no backup in the cloud. Atlassian's going to roll something out, but I don't think it's going to be a subtle, a good solution. But right now, as of this recording, backups in the cloud are for very, 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 very few people, unless you go get like a third-party plugin, right? But in the data center, you have the added benefit of like, I can just go back to a snap and like roll things back in. But if you wait and you go to the cloud and then you start cleaning up, you're gonna be hit with a sudden realization of like, shoot, once you hit delete, it's gone. Like nothing is bringing that back.
Absolutely, and it's I think an argument for doing a migration early, because Atlassian will let you keep your DC instance in read-only mode after you've migrated. So you can, take it off licensing. It won't work, but it can stay there on your infrastructure as a read-only source for however long you need it. Maybe not until 2029, but before the complete sunset, you can probably have a read-only instance of your DC if you're still willing to pay whatever image it's running on.
Yeah. Okay, so then now can we delete statuses?
Yeah, statuses that aren't used, again, ties into your workflows. A lot of this flows together. So let's look at, okay, I'm deleting workflows. Are those statuses associated with those workflows? And then, you can usually tell. It doesn't take a long time to figure out that I have workflows that aren't used, or I have a lot of versions that aren't used, what's associated to them.
Yeah.
It's a good opportunity to do this, because if you go talk to a solutions partner, they probably will ask you, what assessments have you done? Have you cleaned your instance? And it's a great opportunity for them to do that for you. And I think a lot of companies, a lot of Jira admins are fully capable and fully equipped, and probably better equipped to do those cleanups.
Deletion, yeah. The other thing that I'll call out, because we've been talking Jira a lot, right? But Confluence is usually an associated product that gets migrated as well. And one thing I think very similarly, right? Find these old pages that haven't been updated in years, because it's a lot easier, I think, in my opinion, to add more attachments to Confluence pages than you would to like Jira tickets. But the big one that I've seen is the drafts. Like drafts will come over, and there is no bulk deletion of drafts in the cloud. So you have to find your drafts and then delete them, and your UI is going to be like bombarded with all these drafts that you ever worked on that you never actually got around to doing.
Yeah, attachments, screenshots, all of that adds weight. If personal pages were enabled, you might have an abundance of personal pages. It might be a good idea to think about, do I want personal pages enabled in my new instance? And I think a lot of benefit that will come from this cleanup, not only the performance and reducing the turnaround time and migration, but also you will see where some of your governance gaps are. If you are retaining 10 years worth of issues and your data retention policy is 7, then it's an opportunity for you to introduce your annual cleanup and trim your records annually to be compliant with your own data retention policy. These workflow versions, if you're on version 10 and you have all 10 versions, like, do you really need all of those? You could have your annual cleanup to look at things and trim them. And potentially, if another migration comes around, let's say you decide to get off Jira, then if your instance is clean, well governed, you won't have as much of a big bang cleanup to do, as big of a migration to do.
Yeah, there's a quote. I don't know who's the first one who said it, but it was taught to me as Abraham Lincoln. But if you have 4 hours to chop down a tree, you spend 3 hours sharpening your axe. So then it only takes an hour to knock down your tree. I think if you're overwhelmed or you're kind of putting off that migration, the cleanup activity can kind of really help accelerate your migration, because yeah, the amount of baggage that you carry over with you over I mean, the baggage that you just build up over 10, 15, 20, 30 years is it's enormous. I mean, well, technically not 30 because Jira's only 25 years old. But yeah.
Yeah, you learn a lot about your instance kind of going through garbage. You learn about things that you can do better.
Yeah, and then I think you said something important, right? Like, use this opportunity to find those gaps, especially the ones in your governance, and then put some safeguards, because you don't want to repeat the same process in the cloud, right? Even though the cloud is, I think, infinitely more scalable, it is still a system that Atlassian is very quickly shifting to a usage payment model, right? Like, we are getting paid, like Atlassian is charging us for assets, not just X number of assets, but like if you go over a threshold of assets, they bill you, right? They are billing us for automation rules in the cloud. So once you use up X number of automation rules, you're billed for anything that you go over, right? And like, well, technically not really, but still, right? For Rovo, right, you get a certain usage. So Atlassian is really moving into like this usage model where the more waste you have, the more expensive it's going to cost you.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense, and more the reason to keep a clean instance.
Yeah, no, I mean, you got to start cleaning up now, because it'll make that migration way easier, and then it's going to give you a better baseline in the cloud. Well, Artem, thank you so much for joining me. Any closing thoughts, comments that you'd like to give the people before we sign off for today?
Oh, I think we covered it.
All right. Well, thank you again for joining me to have these very important conversations that I think are going to become very relevant for, how do I not alienate my slackers, but I just want to call them slackers. But for all the people that are still in data center and you're still kind of just waiting, hopefully these conversations help you out and hopefully motivate you, maybe give you a little bit of inspiration to get to pull the plug, pull the band-aid, and get yourself over to the cloud, because it's nice over here. We got Rovo. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and share this video with your colleagues, your Jira admins, everybody else you know, and we'll see you in the next one.